SAHMRI is not just a building. It is a building with a function. SAHMRI was built with the intention to attract international researchers, so everything was thoroughly designed around a vision of collaboration.
SAHMRI is really here to improve health. And how does it do that? By attracting the very best people, giving them the very best environment.
It needed to be an iconic design. It needed to tick so many different boxes.
I think the design of the building also is designed around the needs of health and medical researchers. It's designed around collaboration.
The great thing about this project is it allowed Woods Bagot to use its global office and its best people to come together to really create a unique piece of architecture.
Through the global workshop, we're actually able to bring the most experienced, skilled talent to the group and all contribute. Part of that was bringing international lab experts from America in RFD. We also brought our other fellow studios from New York. So there was Adelaide, Melbourne, New York, all contributing to this project.
The global office also allows us to work around the clock. Basically, we would work through the day here in Adelaide, develop our ideas, send them to our New York studio. By the morning when we return, the New York studio would already develop our ideas and we would just be working so much quicker.
There's been a lot of work done on how do you create environments to encourage people to be creative. I think actually this building has thought about that a lot.
It really allowed us to challenge the typologies of lab design to try and create a new and improved environment for researchers to work in.
A diagram to illustrate that is, you have the convention. We were given here the opportunity to break the convention. So taking the convention and spinning it on its head and looking at other ways of how we can influence and promote collaboration.
It's designed to make sure that we don't have silos, that people working in the area of heart disease are talking to the people working in the area of Aboriginal health who are talking to the people working in mental health. So for all of those reasons, I think the design is extraordinary.
Now conventionally also the lab component sits along the perimeter of the building. We actually put it internally and allowed that open up into the workplace. Big void spaces, interconnecting stairs, bridges that gave the ability to people when they passed that actually bump into each other and exchange a conversation. So all these components adding to almost like a vertical and horizontal village where there's a huge energy of collaboration.
Developing the concept to try and create this sculptural form led to the introduction of a triangulated diagrid to create a uniform modular system to enclose the building, both sides, underneath and above. And we looked at that both on a way to skin the building and also environmentally how to shade the building.
The conceptual idea behind the facade was looking at how nature behaves. For example, we looked at the idea of the pine cone, how it adapts to its environment. And we thought, well, how could this building, through a repetitive system around it, also behave in a way where it responds to both its orientation and also to the functions that occur internally. That's come about through these sun hoods, which become quite expressive, and they move out in various distances. Just like the pine cone, its petals move in and out, these sunshades, they move out in various distances and provide different levels of shading, optimising daylight, reducing glare and maximising comfort internally.
It creates a particular environment full of light and energy.
Where we wanted light to penetrate deep into the floor plate to get light into those lab spaces, we opened up the apertures. Where we needed some sun shading, we closed those apertures.
The software that we use is one that works with the subcontractors as well, with the builders. So this exchange was occurring on a number of levels, not just within us as a team, but the broader team of the people who are going to be involved in building it.
On such a complex project like SAHMRI, teamwork has been paramount right through the early concept stages. Through our contribution with constructability, it's been paramount for us to work as a group, both within my team and within the design and consultant group, ensuring we've got the right outcomes for SAHMRI and the project as a whole.
Its uniqueness was that space was created basically for the public to attract people into a medical research institute where we can teach our community how to live healthier.
We took this idea that what about if the building floated above the parklands and it was given back to the public below it. So the building floats above the parklands and allows the public to move below it.
Having such a big floor plate with 36 columns, we didn't want that to impede on the ground plane, so we basically looked at introducing flower columns to transition the 36 columns down to 6.
Through some very hard work with the structural engineers, we were able to collate those columns.
If we move the loads slightly from being over here and being over there, what can happen is we can collect those forces and land them and ground them and get efficiency as well as the floating nature all at the same time.
That's our level 4. Our building floats over the top. We've got all our columns that are coming down. In this zone here in level 4 is where we start to do the flower columns.
The building design and its elevation actually created that public space where we can attract the community and we give something back to the community.
If we start to look at buildings like organisms, we start to move to an opportunity where buildings can be more sustainable. We took the opportunity with this building here to treat it almost like an organism where the underbelly of it opens up, and in the evening the cool air from the gardens below is allowed to purge through the atriums to help cool it down.
With the type of research that's been undertaken in the laboratory space, it requires full fresh air to be introduced into the space, which then gets exhausted. And through that exhausting, you lose energy, which we've introduced systems that actually capture that energy as it's leaving the building and then reintroduce it into the supply airstream.
At its completion, this is going to be the first institute in the world that's going to have that level of integration of systems within a building.
By integrating all of the engineering services systems within the building over a common communications platform, we're able to optimise the energy efficiency within the building to a very high standard.
The building is a tangible element now that impacts on the environment of Adelaide. It's a wow effect. Everybody is amazed by its design. Everybody is excited to see such an avant-garde, bold statement.
The brief has been responded to very, very well. It's ticked all the boxes. We've managed to meet all the design requirements, the functional requirements.
It's incredibly iconic. You can see it flying into Adelaide, you can see it driving down North Terrace. I mean, it makes an immediate statement. We want South Australia to be aware of and proud of what we're doing, and I think the building allows us to do that.
It could be the building like the Sydney Opera House is for Sydney, for South Australia, and it's one that offers hope and inspiration.
Its design, its functions now are going to deliver exactly what we hoped for, attracting the international researchers and creating that space of creativity and uniqueness for medical research.
I think the design has already helped enormously in terms of recruiting outstanding researchers to South Australia.
The collaboration that was shown by all parties, client, architect, engineers on this project was driven by the hope that this facility would create that same level of collaboration between researchers in the medical research world to do what they do and hopefully have a similar eureka moment in their field of research.
We pinch ourselves because it's probably the once-in-a-lifetime project that we've been able to work on and allow it to manifest into such a building. If we do another one, we'll be very, very fortunate, but we think this is probably one of the, one in a lifetime.
We are fulfilling the vision that a few years ago was just a dream.